dream, remembering how it felt into how it used to be. You've been on my mind, together in another life. Feels like so much time from when we were saying, holding my breath. Don't lose the moment. Holding my breath. Don't lose the moment. Here at the edge, our hearts are open. Falling again. Your hands I'm holding. Don't you forget, we're always golden. Making up our minds was never the easy thing, but we got it right. When it comes to you and me, you've been on my mind, together in another life. Wish we could rewind to when we were saying, holding my breath. Don't lose the moment. In my breath. Don't lose the moment. Here at the edge, our hearts are open. Falling again. Your hands I'm holding. Don't you forget, we're always golden. We're made of stars. You know we're made of stars. It's all in who we are. Glittering from the stars. You know we're made of stars. You know we're made of stars. It's all in who we are. Glittering from the sky. Holding my breath. Don't lose the moment. Here at the edge.
Good evening. Welcome to our new season. Can you believe the last time I stood in front of you and launched a lyric season was in November 2019? And strangely, today is exactly 8 years since I launched my first season at the Lyric, Lord and Soul. So a lot of water in the King's Bridge. I just want to acknowledge, just last time just kind of choked me up with the people we passed, you know, like Roma and BJ Hogg and obviously our own Keith Ginty. I just want to remember them, and I think they never got the something here. But I know also all of them would want us to get on with business. So that's what we're going to do. We at the Lyric are delighted to be presenting this, such a packed and wide-ranging season of work. One of our themes this season is to focus on new work and new writers for our stage. It is important to celebrate and promote our homegrown talent, and the best theatrical platform these remarkable writers can have is our beautiful lyric theatre. Mary O'Malley had a vision for diversity to diversify the theatrical offering available in Belfast and Northern Ireland, to bring work unfamiliar to our stage and champion new voices. She had a vision and a belief in the beneficial qualities of theatre that all of us who follow her in a remarkable wake share and try hard to live up to. It's with grateful heart that I acknowledge the support and funding of our chief funders, Belfast City Council, and especially the Arts Council, without whose support, and particularly in the last pandemic, this theatre could not have functioned as a producing theatre and a theatre for all our theatrical community and our wonderful audiences. A producing theatre and all our production companies and all the other receiving theatres is at the heart of any healthy city and culture. And here in the Lyric, new writing is at the heart of what we do. All classic dramas started as new work, untried, untested in the imagination of the writer. Mary Jones's extraordinary Stones in His Pockets was once a new play, written in her kitchen back in the 90s, premiered first at the White Rock Hall 25 years ago, and then in a revised production launched from the Lyric about 23 years ago, and it went on to conquer the West End and Broadway. It's an inspiration for us all. Now, thankfully, it's come home to the Lyric, courtesy of the fantastic Barn Theatre and their vibrant artistic director, Ewan Lewis, and it gets a fresh spin with director Matthew McInerney opening tonight, folks. So if you're not invited, try and queue up for tickets. Emma, you're invited, I swear. As the video shows, even though the theatre building was shut we had to shut the doors, the theatre never actually stopped during COVID. We produced new work by Stacey Gregg, Owen McCafferty, Lata Sharma, David Ireland, Abby Spallin, Lisa McGee, Sarah Gordon, and all that with the BBC. We staged a lot of work online and on audio as well. We staged David Ireland's remarkable Sadie in association with Field Day, and our first professional production in front of a socially distanced audience was Tara Lynn O'Neill's vibrant Rough Girls, with a cast of 11 actresses and 3 musicians. Thank you to the Arts Council, BBC, Garfield Weston, and Electric Ireland for supporting that show. We partnered with the amazing Prime Cut Productions and premiered the superb Border Game by the dynamic duo of Oisin Kearney and Michael Patrick, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. At Christmas, we began Pinocchio, The Greatest Wonder of the World by Paul, our very best family shows, and Grimes and McKee almost did a full run of their, not Christmas Cracker, but whatever it was last year. Thank you. This year, we have already produced Amanda Verlac's gut-wrenching new play, This Shit Happens All the Time, with an amazing performance by Caoimhe Farron and excellent direction by Rianne Jeffrey. We follow this with our Abbey co-production of Brian Friel's seminal Translations, which was written in 1980, untested then, and first performed in the Guildhall Derry, and now heralded as an Irish classic. The first show that led us out of the pandemic was Creative Learning's drama studio offering of Dracula. And I just want to talk for a moment just about the importance of Creative Learning and drama studio to the Lyric. This year it's proved really successful. It was an amazing production. It had a strong feminist message and featured a cast of 20 young actors. To date, 5 of those have been offered places at drama school across the UK and Ireland. That brings 70 to the number of students who have gained places through drama studio to prestigious drama colleges across the UK and Ireland in the last 10 years. Applications are now open for next year's course. Our eco project, A Walk is Not Just a Walk, played to over 3,600 primary school children earlier this year. 1,000 storybooks of the project will be distributed to schools, and together with the 6 online documentaries we've made, will endorse the ecological message of the piece. We have a busy series of workshops planned for July and August, and the autumn term will feature our ever popular theatre school, drama studio, and Kids in Control. So, going to this program, we have a jam-packed summer of visiting productions. We've just had The Soldier's Tale with Kieran Hines, just played, so I don't know what I'm talking about now because it's already happened. And we have Fuse Ensemble last weekend, and as I said, tonight we're opening the 25th anniversary of Stones in His Pockets by Mary Jones, produced by the Barn Theatre. We then have Shedding of Skin with the Mighty Kibosh Theatre, written by Victoria Cafola, a visceral production about women used as a tool for war and seems very pertinent for these days. It opens next week. British Youth Music Theatre presents Bread Boy by Tony Macaulay, based on Tony's second memoir. We had a smash hit for 2 years in running of Paperboy. Actually, Bread Boy was supposed to go on just before the pandemic, so I'm really glad it's getting its premiere this summer. We have 2 previews of shows that are heading to Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Two Fingers Up by Gina Donnelly and Sean Simpson, which played at Dublin Fringe Festival last year to huge success. And Paul Curry, the genius behind Pigeon and Plum. He has a very interesting title, which I'll read most of. The Chorus of Ghosts Living in My Skull Keep Taking a Shit in the Fruit Salad. Carson and the Lady, presented by Theatre at the Mill and written by Michael Cameron. I saw this last year at the Antrim Castle Gardens and I really found it fascinating. Michael had a big hit with Ruby a couple of years ago. So Carson stars Jamie Doran as Carson, Rosie McLennan and Rosie Barry, and it's directed by Colin G. Doran. And delighted Colin's making his debut on the lyric stage as a director. We then will have Muldoon's Picnic with a host of stars, including Paul Muldoon and I'll say Roddy Doyle and a bunch of other people. And that's produced by Poetry Ireland. That's one night only. So that goes on sale and they'll sell out fast. And Roshni as part of the Belfast Malia. We also, to talk about St. Mungo's The Ladies with Grimes McKee and Caroline Kernan, now have our first guest, the chairman of St. Mungo's Gaelic football team. So I'll welcome them to the stage.
Thank you to Mary O'Malley for that lovely introduction. Good to see what.
You don't have to lean in.
What?
It picks you up.
Does it?
It's one of those special mics.
It's a good bit of tech, that, isn't it?
It's class.
Good to see the Arts Council's money being well spent.
Absolutely.
Here have notes here, folks. Welcome to the Five Road Ends pub here for this week's lotto draw for St. Mungo's Lunganulk. It's great to see so many people here. We're going to be getting the draw underway in a few minutes, folks. You can still buy your tickets, but you can buy your tickets from me, the chairman, or the vice chairman.
That's me.
They know that's you. 200 people live in the village. Of course, they know you're the vice chairman. We have a new ticket seller as well, Jimmy Fay's helping us out with the tickets.
How come he started selling tickets?
It's a post-pandemic measure. It's every little helps, as you say. Absolutely. So, folks, the jackpot, rollover jackpot, it's sitting at £1,100, eh?
Ought to be some left, wouldn't it, eh?
I said £1,100.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but more like it.
Here, you nearly get 4 tickets for the Opera House for that.
You could nearly get them. Aye, absolutely. You'd probably have to add some of your own money to it.
I know what I'd go and see.
What?
Cat.
You mean Cats?
No, you've obviously never seen it. Cat.
All right, fair enough. Well, folks, announcements now. The under-12s have an important away game on Saturday against St. Erdnitz.
Mm-hmm. St. Erdnitz, nothing but a bunch of hateful bastards.
They're under-12s.
A bunch of hateful wee bastards.
Yes, that's better. That's more like it. Folks, the minibus has failed its MOT for a record 3rd time. So we are going to require parents to come down in their cars and give us lifts up to St. Erdnitz. Sensible cars, please. Sensible family cars. Not like the 2-seaters like somebody we know has.
That's not a sports car, by the way.
What is it?
It's a midlife crisis.
I know. You think when he got to his age, he just bit the bullet and got himself a Volvo. But no, he said they're in a sports car. Oh, and next, you that one.
My announcement's about the club shop.
You don't have to.
Oh, that's right. The club shop is, is a shipping container out the back of the club. And everyone's wondering and complaining about when it's opened. Well, I can tell you now, and just listen, and it's very, very simple. It's open on a Monday from 11:15 to 11:52. It's open on a Tuesday from 15:32 to 15:58. So it's open on a Wednesday from 16:22 to 17:10, and it's open on a Friday from 1:30 to 2 o'clock.
What about Thursday?
It's Thursday. Last day I go to Cookstown for my chiropody.
Right, okay.
I've 6 ingrown toenails, folks.
On the 1 foot?
Oh no, it's on 4 and 1 and 2 and the other. That's why I wear the Crocs.
All right, I always wondered why you wear the Crocs. Is that your announcement over?
That's
You
my
finished?
announcement. I'll see you all later.
Stand off the thing.
Right, so your turn now.
So my turn now. You're doing terrible well, by the way. Terrible well. So it can't be easy. Now, folks, the big announcement is that St. Mungo's have a brand new team. No, not a hurling team. We decided not to give them weapons. This team is a new ladies team.
Whoa!
And I'd like to introduce you to our very first ladies club captain, Miss Dervla McDermott. Dervla, come on in there, darling.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman.
No, I'm the chairman of a small but important detail, but carry on.
Aye, yeah, right, okay.
You don't have to talk into that.
Oh, no,
talk.
just talk. Without,
It catches you.
oh, yes, that's right. Okay, I am very proud to stand here and say we have a Lady St. Mungo's team.
Oh,
So what that means is we need players. Yep, that's right. Of all abilities and all ages. I'm looking at you, big lad. Yep, you look like you can stand at the back and watch us. From the ages of 16 to 30. We also need coaches, physios, backroom staff,
Right, kid, mom.
kept woman.
that's you out.
Aye. We'll be training on a Tuesday and Thursday from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. So please check the club WhatsApp for all the details. I can't wait to get started. And now that we've dragged St. Mungo's into the 21st century. So thank you and up the women! Yes.
Is that you finished? Look?
That's me
Can
now.
I carry on now?
Yes, off you go.
Right, okay, so
Hang on 1 minute.
We're going to make a draw. We're
Well,
making a
never
draw.
mind the draw.
What?
First I have heard of a women's team in St. Mungo's.
We'll discuss that at the next committee
Oh, we'll
meeting.
not discuss it at any committee meeting. It's a bit of big news and I don't know nothing about it. We'll discuss it right here, right now.
But away over there where people can't hear us. Go on. You. Right, what's your problem?
Where did this women's team come about?
The swimming team.
The women's team?
No, it's a ladies team. You call them ladies.
For some reason.
Oh, but when was it organised?
Well, it was a big referendum. The whole club took a vote on it. You missed it.
Where was it on?
It was on WhatsApp.
I don't borrow a laptop.
Oh, but you should have bothered with this, shouldn't you?
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody voted, and it was a ringing endorsement for a ladies' team, wasn't it?
It wasn't I.
211 to 148.
That was funny when we wrote it.
Yeah.
Anyway, there better be no changes.
You don't read the papers, obviously. No,
Or watch Newsnight.
there'll be no changes. No changes. Sure, there won't.
No, keys.
Case.
No, I'm the man with the keys. Anybody wants anything open to come to me. I open everything around here.
She needs the keys to get a set made. She'll have to get them cut. Go on. Get
No,
those
I'll open the change rooms or anything for you.
No, you'll not be standing outside any changing rooms when women are getting changed.
Yeah.
My
over.
keys.
Come on. Keys over.
Now I need your balls.
My balls? You got my keys, you're not getting my balls.
The Lotto balls. Are we here to do a draw?
That's right. We are here to do the draw. You get your balls ready and we'll do the draw off. Off we go. Oh.
Now, get your tickets ready for this week's St. Mungo's Lotto draw.
Thank you very much. Thank you for doing that. You didn't rehearse that at all, Christina, so fantastic. Star. The other important thing, right, with theatre is touring and getting the work out there and partnerships. And we've had lots of great partnerships, but one of the best partnerships we've had recently has been with the Abbey, and we have a tour of translations. It's going to open at the Abbey next week. It's already played here to extraordinary audiences and amazing reviews. And it plays in the Abbey till the 13th of August, and it goes to the Lime Tree Theatre in Limerick. Then from the 23rd, 27th of August goes to Town Hall Theatre in Galway. And then from the 30th of August, 3rd of December, it goes to Greenon in Donegal. So it's bringing it all back home to Brian Friel's home county, which we're really happy about. And Katrina, the artistic director of the Abbey, did a phenomenal job with that production. So we're really pleased to be involved with it. The other production that we're extremely delighted to be involved with, and the genius of Una and Emma have organized this tour of the Border Game, which was a huge success for us in October last year. So I'm going to ask Emma Jordan to come up and talk about the tour. And Bernie.
Well, if any of you got the chance to see the Border game last year in the Lyric, it was those, because it was a play that was commissioned for the centenary, we kind of just got by the skin of our teeth. And it was just that moment of coming out of COVID. It was a very challenging time, also a very exciting time in terms of seeing audiences come back into the space. But really, the play was conceived and made for and by the people of the border counties. Oisin and Michael, who are two of our I think, our most exciting and talented young playwrights. I can't wait to see what comes in terms of their future work together. But it was based on 100 interviews with people from the borderlands, either side, all shapes, sizes, denominations. So really, for us, it was really important that this play, of all plays that we produced, found a moment that it would be able to tour Ireland. And we're delighted that with the co-production with the Lyric and with, I have to say, Una Nichone's amazing producing skills and tenacity, and with the great help of Culture Ireland, who continue to be wonderful friends to companies in the north of Ireland to facilitate our national and international touring, that it is now possible. We open in the for I think 4 performances in August, the 25th to the 27th of August, before we go out on tour. We're going to Galway, Dublin, Armagh, Roscommon, Monaghan, Dundalk, Sligo, Letterkenny, Limerick and Drogheda. And I'm also really thrilled that I'm not thrilled to lose Liz Fitzgibbon, because she was wonderful. But I think that she wasn't available, and a local actress, Kat Barter, is now going to be playing that role. And I'm really thrilled that I'm going to have the opportunity to work with Kat, and also an opportunity to revisit this particular production. It was completely bonkers, utterly mental. I think we lost probably half of it during the rehearsal process. So it's one of those pieces of new work that I'm genuinely excited to be able to revisit with a new energy and a new verve and no interval. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So as ever, the Lyric have been wonderful, creative, business and personal friends to all of us in the company. We're really, really grateful for that relationship, and it's been very fruitful, and I'm really looking forward to what I think is going to be a really successful Irish tour of the Border game. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. And it's like what she says, like new work, new writing. It's the most exciting pursuit in theatre, I think. Forging new work in the rehearsal room, making creative decisions between the writer, director, actors, designers, stage management, tech, production on something that never existed before can create magic and become credible. Intervals are important in the Lyric on the main stage. I'll just say that. Anything for but look, working on stuff isn't quick, and commissions can take an awful long time. It can take years and years for words go from the page to the stage. It's usually worth the wait. An audience discovering new work for the first time, it can be perhaps the most electrifying moment in a theatre's history. So to start our new work offering, we are going to go to that. Great. And we have The Gap Year by Claire McMahon, directed by Benjamin Gould, and starring Carol Moore, Libby Smith, and Marion Dwyer, and a few other people. And here to talk about it is the wonderful Claire McMahon. Thank you.
Hello. It's a little strange standing up here as myself without playing a character. Bear with me, I'll do my best. In 2017, I sent an email. Our company, Commedia of Errors, would like to bring my first play, Shakespeare's Women, to this very stage. And when I and director Benjamin Gould met with the Lyric, we could not have dreamed that that email would be the start of this creative relationship with the theatre that we both grew up visiting. I feel truly humbled and ecstatic that 5 short years, here we are announcing my main stage debut. And not only that, but I get to take this step with my creative collaborator and supporter, Benjamin. The Gap Year was first developed with the Shamble Theatre Company in partnership with the Lyric in 2018. They wanted a play for Ireland, a weary want, but a challenge that I took on with both hands. What could I share that would speak to all those from walks of life across this island? It was an idea of a new beginning, that it was never too late to start again. And in 2019, I submitted that play for the New Playwrights Programme and then continued to develop and explore that idea. I remember sitting with the hugely talented Rebecca Mayers outside in the cafe and saying, I just don't know what this play is. I can't be an expert on every county in Ireland. And she kindly and truthfully said, wise up, you're not writing a play for the tourist board. Although if they want to get in touch, I'm happy to give them some advice. She asked me what I really wanted to say, and that simple question unlocked it. 3 women in their 60s take a gap year around Ireland. Most of us have been lucky enough to grow up with a mummy or a granny or an auntie or a godmother who took the weight of the world on their shoulders to get us through this life. And the gap year is about them and for them getting their turn. It's about hope and heart and new beginnings. Just before the pandemic in 2020, Benjamin and I took to New York for the first Irish festival there. And hearing the response from the American audience only solidified that it was a play for everyone. Thankfully, Jimmy and the Lyric agree and think so too. And their belief in me and Benjamin and this play has helped develop it from that first idea to hopefully what will be the epic production here in September. I can't wait to share these women's stories with the Lyric audiences as Una, Kate and Roisin share the spotlight and go on an adventure of a lifetime. Thank you.
Thanks, Claire. And the gap year plays from the 3rd of September to the 25th of September, and it's really, really exciting piece. We're also delighted to be part of the Belfast International Arts Festival. I'm delighted Richard is here today, Richard Wakely, who has been helming that festival for many years and doing an amazing job. And I'm just really glad that he's included us. We have 3 works in it, 2 of our own and a visiting show. And one of them that really promises to be a highlight of that festival will be a world premiere of a show that we've been working on for a few years that had an amazing concert reading or performance in 2018, I think, on the Lyric stage, and just had extraordinary feedback. As anyone knows, doing a musical is a very expensive proposition. So even if the Irish Tourist Board or anybody else wants to sponsor it, we're still looking for sponsors, but it is an extraordinary work. And we're doing it in collaboration with the Belfast Ensemble. The name of the work is Propaganda Musical by the Ivor Novella nominated Conor Mitchell. And he's one of the most original and exciting composers to emerge from these islands in any shape or form. And here to tell us a little about it is the infant terrible himself, Conor Mitchell.
Thanks very much. I think my enfant days might be over, Jimmy, but I'm quite prepared to take that. Thanks. I just want to say thanks to Jimmy and everyone at the Lyric for not only commissioning this, but having the bravery to see through the musical to this stage where it is presented in front of an audiences. They famously say musicals aren't written, they are rewritten. So this is a really important moment for many rewrites coming to pass. I actually started my life in musical theatre and spent a great deal of it working on the art form, and then took a very, very long break of it to work in this terrible thing called opera. So for me, it's really important to come back to my first love, which is musical theatre. I actually started in this very theatre writing musicals, and the last time I really collaborated or the theatre did one of my works was 17 years ago, when I actually was an enfant. So this feels really, really brilliant for me. And we are delighted that this is an opportunity for a company that I've been working with for the last few years called the Belfast Ensemble to work in partnership with the Lyric. This is our first formal collaboration, and the ensemble is a ragbag of excellent artists who in a very, very short period of time have become the most decorated producer of opera from this country. And this is a very, very important moment for us as we formalise that dialogue between us and the Lyric and the Belfast Festival. And we really hope it bears fruit, and we're sure it will. What's exciting for us is that it is, as Jimmy says, very difficult to make musical theatre because of the sheer forces. But publisher be damned. You need to make it of that scale. And occasionally it's that scale that really demonstrates the creative, passionate form that is musical theatre and can be opera. So we're delighted to bring and facilitate a 14-piece orchestra night after night for over 4 weeks, which will do wonders to the employment stats of musicians in Northern Ireland. And we think will really bring this piece alive for audiences in this country, and hopefully lots of other people that travel to see it. The history of the pieces, this piece has been on my mind for a very, very long period of time, and it deals with 2 subjects that have been dear and near to my heart for a very, very long time. One is Soviet imperialism, and the other is hardcore pornography. So this tells the story. It's a comedy. It's a comedy. This is set in what I think is a very, very seismic moment in world history, and one that I think speaks to Belfast City itself, which is very important to me, which is the division of a city in 1949. At that moment where East and West were both trapped in one city, and instead of freeing that city or committing to one East or West policy, they divided the city of Berlin, and an iron curtain fell across Europe, and some people became trapped on one side and some people became trapped on the other. And this musical theatre comedy tells the story of the moment where a city divides in two, and the allegiances of a bunch of artists who have to make their living on the black market, taking kinky photographs of one another, to GIs and to Soviet soldiers. But in the process of this, the concept of what is public art, what is socialist art, what is art for the people, what is art for the state, what is truth, what is propaganda, all come together, and they all serve the purposes of these characters and of this musical event. I think it's also a very brave thing for a theatre to take a punt on a piece of popular art which is dealing with the repercussions of Soviet imperialism. This piece is not an answer to what's happening in Russia at the minute, but it certainly is a reminder that what happened in Berlin in 1949 is echoing down the years and is something that we're dealing with to this very day. In our version of that, we'll be doing it in 4/4, in D major, with a few tap routines. And I'm really passionate about that because I believe that musical theatre, if taken seriously, really can be the most powerful art form in the world because it engages with popular song and it speaks directly to the heart of audiences in a way that I don't think contemporary classical can. So we're delighted for that. And at the end of this, myself and the wonderful Matthew Cavan are going to perform one of those songs that happen in the show around the end, which is a love letter to Moscow, how it was before it became the Moscow that it is in 1949. So see us all there and bring some vodka. Thanks very much.
I really urge you all to stay till the very end. It's a really special piece, and particularly our guest online, to listen to Matthew and Connor at the end of our announcements. The other show that we are premiering in the Belfast International Arts Festival is a new work that's going to take place in the Norton Studio. And I just want to talk about the Norton Studio for a sec, because this is one of the great secrets of Lyric. It is a vibrant, amazing, adaptable space. You can do almost anything here. You can do it in 3, you can do it in Trust, you can do it in, back to front. You can make films from here. You can put people up in the grid. It's an extraordinary space, and I just feel like we need to use it more. We need to utilize it more. It's fantastic for visiting and for fringe shows, but it's also really important to premiere a new work here. Premiering any kind of work in a studio space is always very, very expensive. But this year we've already had Amanda Verlax. This year happens all the time, and it was a remarkable production, as I said, by Rianne and Wiquiva's production, and we fit about 150 people in, and didn't always fill, but it was getting there. It was just in an awkward time, and word of mouth was terrific on it. And I want to do more new work, and it's unusual to do new work in this place, just because the return is expensive on it. But I read this play last year, and I really fell in love with it. I thought it was just a beautiful, tender love story. And it is Big Man by one of our greatest novelists, Paul McVeigh. And it will be directed by the wonder kid, Patrick J. O'Reilly, and performed the outstanding actor, Tony Flynn, who's just a remarkable actor. And they did a workshop with Rebecca, and we went to see it. And it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. So I'm really honored that that's going to premiere in the Belfast International Festival here on the stage. So to talk about that is Paul himself, Paul McVeigh.
This is the time when I really wish I'd written something, because everyone's been so articulate. But I did make a few notes. Thank you. Some ideas from you. But anyway, was born in lockdown. And I have to give a lot of credit to Tony Flynn, the actor, who we met weekly, and we were in each other's bubble, as they say, and we worked on it and tried things out. And really, he is like a kind of silent co-author of this piece, but silent because he hasn't got any royalties or anything. And this is not going out anywhere, kind of, is it? Anyway, and we're delighted that Patrick is also now on board, and so we're really excited to start rehearsals on it. I started off my creative life in the theatre, and then I went to London, and then I started writing stand-up comedy, and really enjoyed that for a while. And then I went into short stories and then novels, and I work in literature mostly. So this is like a kind of really long flashback to about 20 years ago. The story came from, I went to see an old school friend of mine, and we were at dinner, and both of her sons were there, and one of her sons was going out, and I said, "Where are you going out to see your friends?" And he said, "No, all my friends are dead." And he said it like he was saying they're all at the cinema. It was so accepted. And then during the first 5 weeks I was living in London for about 25 years. In the first 5 weeks that I was home, there were 3 people that my niece knew who killed themselves. And I started looking into this, and this really preoccupied me. And I started thinking about the connections between being older and losing people naturally. I had lost both my parents and a brother, and these younger people who had lost people. And so this was so the Big Man is really a love story between an older gay man and a gay man about 30 years old. And they shouldn't really work, but they fall in love through loss. They've both lost so much. They're both empty, and with repeated loss, you never really have time to rebuild you before the next one comes along. So the foundations just keep crumbling, and so you're these sort of empty vessels. And these 2 people come together, and sort of like it's almost like the 2 negatives make a positive, and this massive big love happens, and it's really transformative for the 2 of them. One it's his first love affair, and one who hasn't been in love for 20 years. And so this incredible experience happens for them. And it brings up lots of issues about loss, about love, and about taking a chance on it, and then whether we have to wait and see whether that works out or not. I don't get where the end of that. But I want to say thank you to Lyric to take a chance on someone like an old hand like me who hadn't written for 20 years for the theatre, that is. And so thank you for everyone here, and Rebecca and the marketing people, because I love our poster. It's very sexy. So I'm really liking that. And I'm really glad we're in this space to experiment. It's an experimental space. The fact that we have that in Belfast, just one little mention I make, is that, I came from Ardoyne, and as a working class kid, I didn't think I could ever write a book. I didn't think that was something that you could ever do. You know, that wasn't something that I wouldn't have a seat at that table. And those were not the expectations of me and my school. We didn't even do O levels at my school. You know, we were just expected to be stupid, and you know, and then we carry this lack of self-confidence through our whole lives, that, you know, that we're just not supposed to be there. And, you know, and then so it took me a very long time to get to literature, and now to come back to theatre and think, you know, that I can be in the Lyric. You know, there's something I wouldn't have dreamed possible, you know, when I was growing up. And I think that's a real testimony to, you know, what you're doing here, that it's experimental, it's open, it's diverse, there's multiple voices. And I'm very honored to be in a program with such talented people. And it's been lovely hearing about your stories. And I look forward to coming and seeing your work. And I hope you'll come and see mine. How's that?
So, I'm going to introduce our Head of Development and Marketing, Claire Murray, who is going to talk about our autumn visiting companies and a few other things. So, thank you, Claire.
Thanks, Jimmy. Yes, so we are so thrilled with our new autumn-winter season. And obviously, as part of that season, of our own work, but we are also, I guess, one thing that the last 17 months being closed taught us was the importance of collaborating, the importance of production companies, producers, festivals, creatives, just all that wonderful community working together, you know, hand in hand. So during our new season, we are thrilled to have a real unique and diverse theatre from a host of visiting companies. So I'll just read through them. They're all in your Sprank brand new brochure, which is just hot, literally hot off the printing press. And you'll be able to see all that detail in the What's On. We start with How to Bury a Dead Mule by Richard Clements, who's here. I'm delighted to see. This actually show was in the Lyric previously, and everybody was raving about it and loved it, and it got a really, really great reception. It's a war story of Richard's grandfather. The Whole Nine Yards is a hybrid of poetry and comedy storytelling with Owen O'Neill. We have Green and Blue from Kabosh, the award-winning play, which I saw at Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and it's great to have coming to the Lyric. The hilarious Life Bites, so Nuala McKeever is back in October. We have The Matchmaker, so John B. Keane's beloved hit comedy, at the end of September. The Song of the Bones is the story of Ireland's last witch trial. Yes, So I Said Yes is a new play and Northern Ireland premiere from our wonderful acclaimed playwright and friend, David Ireland. So if you saw Cypress Avenue, you'll remember that Jerry Adams made an appearance. This time it's Stephen Nolan. So that's all you really need to know it's going to be absolutely wonderful. After a sellout Scottish run in 2021, Doug Allen is bringing his acclaimed brand new tour to Ireland just for one night only in November. And Paddy Keelty comes back again. He's going to reprise his wonderfully hilarious and thought-provoking and really intelligent borderline stand-up show. Revved is a funny and heart-wrenching debut play from Patrick Quinn, who's also here, delighted to see, which is wonderful. And finally, A Warning to the Curious from the Nunkey Theatre Company at the end of November. So it really genuinely is a lineup of, you know, thought-provoking, diverse, but downright bloody brilliant theatre, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to see that live theatre is well and truly back. I guess if you need even more encouragement, I'm delighted to talk about some new things that are happening within the Lyric. I'm delighted to introduce our very first membership scheme. So Lyric Plus is something that's been in the pipeline for a long, long time, and we will be trialing the launch of this in the next couple of weeks. It's free to join for students and community groups, and it's only it starts at £2.50 a month for everybody else, but it's packed full of perks and like priority seating discounts and news show exclusives, and we're really excited about this. one thing that we did also learn when we were closed, but we were closed to audiences, but still working fiercely and making lots of wonderful things, as the video showed, was really how loyal our audiences are. We had donations from people we didn't even know knew about us. We had letters, we had cards. That was a really, really heart-warming element of our closure. And we're thrilled to be able to provide a membership scheme, really, to help reward our loyal patrons. We're also really proud to keep the Lyric as accessible as possible and open to as wide and diverse audience as we can. One way to do that is to make sure we're as affordable as possible. So again, it was something that we launched quite a few years ago, and we're thrilled that we're able to still do it, which is offer tickets for all Lyric shows from only £12. We also have other things around multi-buy. So if you see a little multi-buy icon in your brochure on the website, that means that you can get 15% off all tickets if you buy 3 or more shows. And really the thing that I guess a lot of them are really, really, truly proud of is that we offer accessible performances for all our shows. Thank you so much. We have ISL and BSL performances, captioned and audio described. And we know we've still a bit to go. We want to make sure that we are doing that as much as possible and as open as possible. So plenty of reasons to enjoy amazing live theatre at the Lyric this year. The next thing I want to talk about is Christmas, and I'm really, really excited and proud, I guess, to talk about our Christmas programme. Often Christmas is the first time or the only time many of our patrons will visit the theatre. So it's a really, really special time for us and for welcoming audiences and families back into the theatre. And we have a really jam-packed Christmas programme again this year. So the first thing to announce is our spectacular new musical adventure, Snow Queen, which is inspired by Hans Christian Andersen's classic tale, and it will be brought to us by Paul Boyd, who has just come off a really successful run of Christmas family shows with the Lyric over the last number of years, to work with him again. We then have Pigeon Plum's Vaudeville Circus, back by very popular demand. And of course, it wouldn't be Christmas without the two kings of Christmas, Grimes and McKee, who'll make you laugh from start to finish with a Christmas cracker. So that is our new season launch right up to Christmas. And we are really, really delighted and proud and thankful to you all for being here to help us launch it. So thank you.
Thanks, Claire. We're almost there. I'm going to ask Connor and Matthew Cavan to come up and just get ready because this is going to be short. I just wanted to say at this stage, like, making theatre is an extraordinary privilege to be doing. And what I really want to do at this moment is to thank the staff and the board of the Lyric. We've been through a lot together these last couple of years through thick and thin, but everybody played the botlinder, and you can really see the measure of people, you know, when they're in a very awkward and difficult situation, which they were, and everybody, you know, came up smelling the roses. And we're also, as the Lyric, very fortunate in every department to have that staff, and I'm honoured and humbled to work with you every day. I'm also honoured and humbled to work with all the artists to choose to work at the Lyric. You know, we don't take that for granted. It's a brilliant privilege to have your talent come in and energize the place. It's just one of the most extraordinary privileges of my life to see people just come up with creative ideas and they happen on the stages here or upstairs. It's amazing. Thank you all for coming in tonight and you online. Without an audience, the theatre, it's just an empty vessel. We felt that during the pandemic, you know, it's full of ghosts. It's kind of scary when it's by itself. But when you come in and you make that charge to electrify a performance, Lyric audience is the best. Thank you for all the feedback that you give us, and we read it and listen to it and act on it. And I hope there's a lot for you to enjoy in this coming season. So get booking. That's really important as well. We also, yes. So right now we're going to go out with a song from Propaganda called Moon Over Moscow. And this is one of the most haunting things I've ever heard. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Christina as well. She's done an extraordinary job. Very short notice. Thank you very much.
The sun is shining through the clouds, my love. The birds are singing in the sky. So high above and oh so tuneful, I cry. Love, a million people say hello. Love, they smile and wave, but do they know, love, that I am dreaming of a city at night? Oh, the moon over Moscow will shine on again. For Moscow by moonlight is how I picture it then. The moon over Moscow will shine on for me. The stars need the night time to glow as bright as can be. Sunshine may find us, burn us and blind us. Moonlight will guide us through darkest night. Will shine on for me. The stars need the night time, and over Moscow she'll shine again. She'll shine.